This is the second installment of Finnegan on Finnegan Wake Wednesdays. Today we'll be doing page 5, lines 1 through 36. And first I will begin with lines 1 through 4. Next to nothing and celescating the Himmels and all, higher architect petit or poflutical, with a burning bush abob of its bobble top, and with larens o' toolers clittering up, and tumbles of buckets clattering down. Here, I think Finnegan is saying that there is a hierarchy or men of power in the city that drink at a building, kind of like a clubhouse. And all of these men meet here and speak and drink just about anything. Now I will be reading lines 5 through 12. Of the first was he to bear arms and a name, Wasley Booslif of Risengorg. His crest of heraldry, invert with anslers, troublent, argent, ahigo, perseverant, horrid, horned, his sketchem fest, with archers strung, Helio of the second. Hutch is for husbandmen, handling his hoe. Ho, 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 Mr. Finn, you're going to be Mr. Finnegan. Come day morn, and oh, your vine, Sunday's eve, and ah, your vinegar. Ha, 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 Mr. Fun, you're going to be fined again. Now, I think Finnegan is trying to say that a man of power from a place called Risingborg, which I cannot find, wore a coat of arms, and I don't think he liked him very much, because I translated some Anglorish, or Old Irish, for some of the words, and he was calling him a cuckold, if you will, a fool, and even a he-goat. Yes, a he-goat. And Helio, the second color of his coat of arms, was similar to his own. It then says he was handling his hoe. I think this is him beating his wife's poo-tang again. And then he is told he'll be a father within the next week, which would make sense. You beat up the poo-tang. But then shortly after, he is told he will be fined, or charged, I think. Now I will be deciphering lines 13 through 28. What then agent-like brought about the Troggedy Thunder's Day, this municipal sin business? Our cube house still rocks as ear witness to the thunder of his Arafatas, but we hear also through successive ages that Shebi Choirish of Uncofalide Muslimisilahims that would blackardize the white stone ever hurtle-churtled out of heaven. Stay us, wherefore, in our search for tightness, O sustainer, what time we rise, and when we take up the toothpick, and before we lump down upon our leather bed, and in the night at the fading of the stars. For a nod to the Nebir is better than the wink to the Wapsanti, other ways west ways, like that provost scoffing Budouin, the Jebel, and the Gypsian sea. Cropper the crunched back and shall decide, then we'll know if the feast is a fly day. She has a gift of seek on sight, and she'll out-casually Ansar's helpers, the dream dearie. Heed, heed, it may have been a misfired brick, as some say, or it might have been due to the collapsus of his back promises, as others looked at it. To begin, he speaks of an agent-like telling him of a tragedy on a Thursday. Agent-like in Dutch is a police, so I think a police man came to tell him of a tragedy, which is tragedy just in Greek. That happened on Thursday, involving him. Now, he doesn't speak more of this tragedy, and it's a little mysterious as to what may he have done. But after, he explains that the clubhouse, or that building that him and the higher-ups would drink at, was still bumping. And even after the news broke the town, everything seemed normal. in the clubhouse. He then begins questioning whether or not he should be allowed into heaven, which makes me think that he did something pretty horrible, and that whatever he's being fined or accused of, he definitely did. And then he begins to soul search more from the morning all the way till he lays in bed at night when the stars start to begin to form. He then begins to waffle a bit after this. Really, none of it is sensical at all. I can't even try to translate it. But then after this, he explains that his wife helps him through the ordeal a bit, and that he begins to decide that the Crunchbacken will decide his fate, whoever the Crunchbacken may be. Then he talks about falling due to a misplaced brick, which is maybe how I think he dies in this story, because it is Finnegan's wake. And he explains that maybe it wasn't the brick. Maybe it was due to his back issues. Either way, a little confusing, as I do not know what he did yet. But it seems that he is guilty of whatever he did. Now, to top it off, I will be going through lines 28 through 36. There extant by now 1,000, and one stories all told of the same. But so sore did he abe ite Ivy's hollered abels, what with the Walhalls, whores of Rolls Rights, Carhacks, Stonehungens, Kistevanes, Tramtrees, Fargo Ballers, Autokinotons, Hippohobblies, Street Fleets, Tornitaxes, Megafogs, circuses, and wards moats, and balsa liqueurs, and arapagods, and the hoist, and the jolly brule, and the peeler in the coat, and the Mecklenburg bitch bite at his ear, and the Marlinborough burricks, and his 4 old poorcoats, the Boar the Mord, and his. First, I think he's talking about how many people saw him fall from that wall, and many of the stories were different. There were thousands of accounts, but they all told of the same thing. But then he begins to think of the finer things after. These finer things are Rolls Rights, Carhacks, Stonehungens, Kistevanes, Tramfrees, Fargo Ballers, Autokinotons, Hippohobblies, Street Fleets, Tornitaxes, Megafog circuses, and Warsmotes, and Basilarks, and Arapagods. And it's all things that we all like. I would agree with Finnegan that these are the finer things in life. And then after that, he talks of the hoist and the jolly brule and the peeler in the coat. These are both slang terms in Angrilish for shoplifters and cops. I think he might be talking about good guys and bad guys, and whether maybe he's a good guy or a bad guy. Then after that, he accounts of a story, I think, of this bitch who seemed to be freaky, as she would bite his ear a lot. And what I've gone from this story is Finnegan definitely has some freaky ass bitches. So I wouldn't put it past him. And that's it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back next Wednesday with page 6.